Hi, my name is David Smith, and I'm a trustee with the Heritage Glass Museum here in Glassboro, New Jersey. I'm here with Frank Stubbins today. Frank, you've got a long history in South Jersey glass. How did you kind of begin?
Well, I had an interest in glass and started collecting glass made in South Jersey, historical whiskey flasks and fruit jars. And the opportunity came along to learn how to blow glass at Wheaton's. And we worked at Wheaton's and learned how to do the basics, blowing a bottle in a mold. And we would do the demonstrations on the weekends and narrate their programs. And early on, there was a symposium at Stockton State College of chemical engineers. One of the members of our group was a curator at Wheaton's. And the engineers had called over to Wheaton's and said, do you have someone that could come to our location at Stockton and blow glass? And our curator member picked up on it right away, and he said, most definitely. And we had a old boat trailer, converted that to a flatbed, put a furnace on it, put a leer on it where you cool the glass. We had a sign painted, Wheaton Village Glassblowers, and away we went to Stockton State College.
You had a very small number of people that were in the organization.
That is correct. We had 4 glassblowers at the beginning. One was the curator, one was the factory manager, and then myself and Jeff Bannerman from Clayton, New Jersey. And after Stockton, we came back to Wheaton's and went back to our programs. And about 3 months later, Rutgers University in New Brunswick heard about our group. They called Wheaton's, and we spent the weekend in Rutgers University blowing glass, and we do it outside, which isn't happening very often. Other people say to us, we don't know how in the world you do it outside, because when you're working with the hot glass, you use the color of the glass to tell you temperature. And outside with the sun shining, the color of the glass looks different, the brilliance of the heat. So we worked at it, and we've been doing it for a long time outside.
Give me a little run through on what an average demonstration would look like.
Well, we start off with a small, short narration about glass in the beginning.
So one person does the narration.
One person doing the narration. And then there are 2 people that are going to work, the person making the item and an assistant. And our 4th person gets a break. So we start, and it's a very detailed narration so that the public, when they are watching the program, what we are doing, they will be watching for what's going to take place next. Because many places when you go and have a narrated program, it's going so quickly that you miss things. And we want the public to be able to see everything that we're doing and to know why we are doing it. And then at the end, when we're all done, then we entertain questions.
I see. I guess you, in the course of the years, you've been able to bring in new people on this, and even your own son, Wes, has had an opportunity to
That is correct. That is correct. We've had some people that have retired from the group. We've had some people that have passed on, and we started with 4 glassblowers and 2 people to take care of our resale sales table. And as time went on, with losing members and things of that sort, we are now down to my son and I, my daughter-in-law and wife, and that is now the Wheaton Arts Glassblowers. And for a father to be able to teach his son how to blow glass is one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me, because it's not something that everybody can learn or wants to learn.
And nowadays, it's a real unique ability to be able to do that, to be able to pass down a technique and a history of that has passed down for many centuries.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's been a golden opportunity for myself and for my son.
Well, I know with you, with a history in South Jersey glass and glass in general, so much steeped into your life, I know that that's a real high ranking in terms of importance for you as a person.
That is correct. I'm almost overly interested in what I'm doing, but in my estimation, I can never learn enough because I started later in life, and time's going to run out. But I'm very happy with what I've been able to learn, and I've been extremely happy with the opportunity to teach my son.
Well, Frank, knowing you as I do as a person, as long as we've known each other, and your history of Wheaton Village, what do you feel is like your ability to relate to someone that worked in the glass houses many years ago, that did it for a living?
Well, Dave, I've thought about that quite often, that when I'm learning a new technique, I am actually have the feeling that the men in the 19th century had to learn also. So I'm experiencing, even though it's this day and age, I'm experiencing the same feeling or the same frustration when things are not going the way I think they should go. And I have found that it's repetition over and over and over. And eventually it will come to you. Because learning this was very, very frustrating in the beginning. And I thought to myself many times driving home from Wheaton's, I'm never going to learn how to do this. But I stuck with it. And I don't consider myself an artist. And I don't even consider myself a master glassblower. But I can do things that I've never been able to do before in my life. And I'm very happy with what I have learned how to do.
It must be much the same way for the folks that worked at glass houses back in the day for their occupation, because as I understand it, it was much more than just a job to these gentlemen, but it was also a high degree of pride and a talent that they were putting to good use, and to be able to teach their children as they brought their families into the glass houses also. So it was much more than just a job to these gentlemen. They must have had some degree of passion for it as well.
That's right. They would have to, because I have found in my personal feelings is I really enjoy it the way it works now with us. I don't know that I would have wanted to do it for a living because they worked long hours and very, very hot, and it was a challenge. But they were very, very talented individuals. But none of them started out as a glassblower. They all had to learn what I've had to learn. And that's why I say the feelings that I get personally are what those men felt when they were learning. It had to be frustrating.
I think I've read also that in their apprenticeship programs, they're bringing in their family members in. They didn't automatically elevate someone to the role of glassblower. They actually weeded out individuals that either had an aptitude or didn't have an aptitude. They were very selective about who made it to those advanced levels.
Well, if you think about it, it was a business, and the owner of the glass factory needed production. So if you had to choose between two individuals, you're going to go with the one that's going to give you the best production. And that's in the bottle blowing and things of that sort. It was production, and it was a team of 5 men that worked together. One gathering the glass, one inflating it, one blowing the bottle, and so on and so forth. And God helped the man that messed up, because that stopped the production. Then they had to start over again. And they got paid by the completed gross of bottles. They didn't get paid by bottle, the completed gross. And they were working their tails off to produce those bottles.
Everybody had to work in concert
Right.
in order for everybody to get paid.
That's
at the end
right.
of the day.
That's right. And the glass blowers were the highest paid individuals in the factory. And from there on, it went downhill as your experience was less. And they had a lot of young people, 10, 12-year-olds working in the glass factories.
Yeah. They all contributed to the family income as best they could.
Right.
Working along with family members.
Yes. Yeah. It was a challenge. It was a challenge.
Certainly.